Have you ever experienced that breathless fall in your dream where you're just about to hit and hear your bones crunch with your weight, but then suddenly you wake up, perspiring down to your core, heaving breathlessly, your throat constricted, your lungs about to explode, and your heart ready to burst out of your ribcage? Well, what if you aren't actually asleep, but you experienced it fully conscious? This is what we are about to reveal in this video. It's not for the faint-hearted, so viewer discretion is advised. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we bring you real-life stories of incredible and shocking incidents. In this video, we will be sharing 3 unusual caver fall accidents that led to tragic outcomes, proving how small, seemingly harmless mistakes can have devastating consequences. Cueva de Serpiente Dormida, Costa Rica. Costa Rica, officially known as the Republic of Costa Rica, is a small country in North America's central region. It borders the Caribbean Sea to the east, the Pacific Ocean to the west, Nicaragua to the north, and Panama to the south. Seemingly with a minute existence compared to other countries on the world map, this country is actually nature's gift to humanity. Even though it is small in size, Costa Rica has the most diverse wildlife in all of Latin America. One of the major tourist attractions of the country is its caves. The history revolving around these caves is so mind-boggling that the natural artifacts restored within them are hard to believe. What if we told you that most of Costa Rica's caves were formed 20 to 70 million years ago? As of today, several such caves are unearthed during exploration expeditions. These caves offer a unique perspective into the past, a world that existed millions of years ago, calling out the curious ones, the cavers who venture underground to discover and study stalagmites, ancient marine fossils, and prehistoric animal species for exploration and research purposes. And Jose Alfaro was one of these curious ones. Jose Alfaro was an experienced caver and a native of Costa Rica. He was a much-loved and respected member of the Costa Rican cavers community. Caves in Costa Rica dip down to 790 feet below sea level, while others can stand as tall as 985 feet above. You can still witness small seashells embedded in the cave walls, telling untold stories of when the area was submerged underwater, not to mention the fossilized sea life jutting out from strange turns and corners, reminding us of the lives that roamed freely within these caverns in a time lost now to history. Now, to make these exploration activities undertaken by researchers, tourists, and adventurers, cavers like Jose Alfaro, who must go in the first place, become the torchbearers and create a safe passage for others. Jose carried out various expeditions to investigate, study, and research the cave's fauna. These explorations document new findings regarding multiple species of reptiles, animals, and birds that dwell therein. Cave exploration involves everything from walking in open-area caverns to crawling between incredibly narrow, rib-crushing passages, swimming in bodies of water, and bearing challenging, suffocating environments that test the cavers physically and mentally. It's not easy, as the cavers sometimes have to risk their lives to carry out these jobs. Jose Alfaro was no different, but who would have thought that Alfaro would have to pay a heavy price during an expedition just because of a mistake caused by someone else, resulting in a tragic loss to the whole community. On the fateful day of March 4th, 2017, Jose Alfaro prepared to enter the Serpiente Dormida cave. This particular cave was named Serpiente Dormida after encounters between various types of snakes and the cave explorers. The cave's opening has a vertical shaft where the caver has to plunge deep down 180 feet through rappelling. Rappelling is descending from a point using a rope coiled around the body by one end. The other end is fixed at a higher point. Well, due to his vast experience in vertical cave diving, the 45-year-old was assigned the rigging of the pit, which required 2 rebelays. A rebelay is made by attaching one rope to 2 anchors. The first is placed at the point of descent, while the other is placed farther down. This method ensures the caver's safety by redirecting the rope away from hazards, such as abrasive rocks, waterfalls, etc. As Alfaro descended, neither he nor his team would have anticipated that a simple little mistake would cost them severely. Alfaro descended expertly through the vertical shaft of the cave, and he started deploying the rope from the rope bag. After rigging the second rebelay approximately 100 feet above the ground, all the while rappelling, that rope was carrying his fate, so he continued downwards, completing his task. The bag contained 2 ropes of equal length left untied at the end. Unaware of the approaching disaster, Alfaro rappelled 20 feet down before he rappelled at the end of the first rope. When deploying a rope from a rope bag, it is almost impossible for a rappeller to detect an unknotted end of the rope. As a result of this, Alfaro experienced a fall from approximately 80 feet. The shock of having no support suddenly, and then experiencing the fall with the certainty of meeting death within a few moments is certainly enough for a person to experience their blood freezing right in their veins. He fell, and his team waiting at the top of the cave heard him fall. They rushed to him as soon as they could, having no clue what had just happened in the last few seconds. Alfaro heard his bones crunching after hitting the ground with full force, and felt concussions on his head and face. He felt his life seeping out of his lifeless, numbing body, his breath coming in haggard gasps. He succumbed within minutes of his fall. When his team reached him, they confirmed multiple fractures to his legs and trauma to his face. They witnessed Alfaro taking his last breaths in agony, and finally leaving the world, doing what he loved best. His team and the caving community were shocked and aggrieved about losing their experienced member, a lively human being as well as a dear friend. His passing opened up new questions regarding the safety of cavers. The team speculated that it was doubtful that Alfaro was aware of the untied pair of ropes in the rope bag. However, it still needs to be made clear as to who prepared the rope bag by creating a massive blunder of keeping untied ropes therein, causing a life to be taken away just because of a silly yet enormous mistake. 3 things are advised from this. Number 1, caving clubs should follow strict protocols when packing rope bags for riggers. 2, when packing someone else's bag, ensure that the ropes are tied in knots and shown to the rigger beforehand. And 3, it is highly advised that the rigger prepare their own rope bags and inspect the contents again before descending to save themselves from any such disaster. In such situations, remember, a loose end can cause a loved one to meet his life's end. Now, let's move on to the 23rd of November 2019, Bahala Cave, Alabama. Jackson County, Alabama is considered a caver's paradise. It has approximately 1 cave per 15 people. Alabama's intriguing geology and the exploration opportunity that it offers make it a bucket list destination for enthusiastic cavers worldwide. These caves have significance both scientifically and historically, as they are home to more than 1,000 species. Alabama has more than 4,200 caves, as per the report of the Alabama Cave Survey of 2007, which makes it a universal hotspot for adventurers and explorers globally. The fact that the state was submerged underwater in prehistoric times makes it an invaluable asset to unexplored networks of underground spaces. Can you imagine all of the mysteries and species that it holds, tucked securely beneath our feet? Unbelievable. Bahala Cave is nature's bounty, located in Jackson County, Alabama. It is only accessible by vertical caving. It feels less like a vertical tunnel and more like a vast canyon passage. Its sheer magnitude and impressive size can only be experienced by the rappeller who dives down the cave. Once you reach the bottom, there's more than a mile to explore, with small passages which involve crawling and walking. The cave, in general, is a maze of mud. Its magnificence is well distributed in layers of Bangor limestone and Pennington limestone from top to bottom. It is one of the United States' most exotic and alluring open-pit caves. It pulls in cavers like magnets from all across the globe. Well, this group of 5 students from Purdue University were the same. They couldn't resist the charm, and thus they planned a camping, hiking, and exploration trip to the Bahala Cave Pit on the 22nd of November 2019. None of the 5 experienced adventurers had the slightest idea what tragedy awaited them in the next few hours. Amongst the group was Trevor Cole, a free spirit who had already marked himself as an experienced rock climber, rappeller, and cliffhanger, according to his social media accounts. He could be seen comfortably hanging from the sides of mountains where others could only dream of being in his place. Who would have thought that this adventurer's fate hung with his hanging ropes? Trevor Cole, the 21-year-old student, was originally from Austin, Texas. He was enrolled in the Mechanical Engineering Department in the Honors College, on track to receive his bachelor's degree in 2020 and, consequently, a master's in 2021 from Purdue University. Cole also spent his last semester studying at Shanghai Jiaotong University in China. In the summer, he worked as an intern at Siemens in Norwood, Ohio. He was an active member of the Purdue Outing Club, and he was also a member of the Formula One racing team. Although Purdue students had proper permits from the Southeastern Cave Conservancy to explore the Bahala Cave, the university and its outing club did not sanction this particular trip. On that fateful Friday night, the 5 students, all experienced climbers, camped near the cave and then rose early the next day to explore the majestic Bahala. The opening to the cave is a hole in the ground on the side of a mountain. The group started rigging the pit several times, trying to get their primary rope to reach the bottom, which, unfortunately, wasn't long enough to reach the bottom. Hence, they tied down 2 ropes by doing a double fisherman's knot. When they tried rigging the now tied ropes, it was done in a way that the placement of the knot hung right at the lip of the pit. Cole, being the most experienced amongst the group, and confident in his knot-passing abilities, volunteered to go in first. Cole rappelled, and when he reached the knot, he attached his standard 6-bar rappel pack just below the knot and locked it off. As per the standard protocol, in securing the knotted ropes, the rappeller needs to attach and lock the rack and caving equipment to the rope in order to continue rappelling. Cole followed the standard protocols, but unfortunately he didn't realize that the rack was not reattached to his harness. The rappel rack enables a rappeller to control the rate of descent by modifying the amount of friction on the device. What happened next, you can probably imagine, but in some ways is unimaginable. Cole resumed rappelling expertly, unaware that the next few moments would be his last. The brave and adventurous 21-year-old fell 200 feet deep down the pit. He didn't even have time to realize what had happened to make his freefall. Instead, he only was able to meet his death in a matter of seconds as he landed heavily at the bottom of the pit. He didn't even fortunately have time to experience any pain. Death was instantaneous. His team heard the fall, and shock reverberated through them. They did not attempt to enter the cave, and instead immediately started to reach for a place where they could get a cell phone signal, as the area was quite remote. It took them quite some time to drive a few miles over rough country roads before they finally reached a paved road and an area with working cell phone signals. They started calling 911 and rescue centers for help. Chattanooga Hamilton County Rescue Squad, or CHCRS, responded. It took another 4 hours to recover Trevor Cole's body. The time delay didn't cause any change in the outcome of circumstances. Upon examining the body and the gear, the carabiner attached to his harness D-ring was partially opened in its sleeve, suggesting that Cole's weight forced it to open and detached it from the rack, resulting in the fall. A carabiner, or carabiner spelled with a C or K, or a climbing clip, is a specialized type of shackle, a metal loop with a spring-loaded gate used to quickly and reversibly connect components, most notably in safety-critical systems. Cole's death was the 3rd in the same year in Jackson County. The most recent one at the Bahala Cave Pit was on the 10th of June 1984, at the same entrance that Cole entered. Upon interviewing the team members, it also came to everyone's attention that the group intended to pass and share the gear up and down the 227-foot deep pit. It was silly and reckless for the entire team to go ahead with this plan. This indicates that the team needed adequate gear and to be adequately prepared in order to carry out the entire expedition, which they weren't. This was enough of an early warning sign that they should have called off the entire trip in its early stages. Though the lack didn't directly contribute to the tragic outcome of this adventure, it was enough that it should have given them a heads up. This group was adequately trained in vertical pit caving techniques, and they would have had to complete the trip had their rope reached the bottom. The whole equation changed with the inadequate rope length, calling for an intelligent action plan, which was not followed. Adventurers like cave exploration don't call for impulsive decision-making, but rather a well-thought-out strategy and adequate thinking before plunging into any pit head down. It is advised that interested groups of cavers be adequately educated about the inherent risks of vertical cave diving and the need for proper training. It is also suggested that people invest in proper gear and equipment and learn proper techniques to prevent such tragic incidents from happening. And finally, September 6th, 2015, Stevens Gap Cave. Would anyone as young, full of life, and having a love for the outdoors as 18-year-old Patrick Wurzner have thought of meeting his fate at one of the most picturesque and supposedly most photographed cave pits in the entire United States? Yeah, you heard that right. It won't be an exaggeration to name Stevens Gap as one of the most beautiful caves in the world. It is situated in Jackson County, Alabama, and is also known as one of the hottest caving hotspots on the face of the globe. It is 30 miles east of Huntsville, one of the state's most populous cities. It's a 30-minute drive from the city, and it's relatively easy to reach by vehicle. One needs a permit to visit Stevens Gap Cave from the Southeastern Cave Conservancy, the largest conservancy in the world, by the way. The permit is 100% free of charge. If you have chosen a sunny day to visit the cave, you are in for a breathtaking view. The magic begins as soon as the sun rises, and its rays fall through the lip of the cave to the bottom of the pit like a golden river cascading down brightly lit pathways. It is so mesmerizing that cavers worldwide frequently visit this miniature wonderland of nature to experience its magic firsthand. Though considered the most breathtaking cave, it is hard to believe, yet confirmed, that the beauty somehow could be deceptive if one is not careful enough. The description fits well, as this attractive natural spot has claimed many lives recently. One can be caught off guard when entering Stevens Gap due to its vast walk-in entrance through the mouth of the cave. The path toward the pit starts horizontally, caving into the shaft like a cylindrical vertical pit. The catch is that you don't have to be an experienced caver to enter this cave. If you possess a pair of decent hiking boots, you can walk into the central pit and explore its surroundings. When an intimidating task suddenly feels so easy, it's better to be cautious. Otherwise, a small mistake could lead to drastic outcomes. The real challenge starts when you wish to explore the 143-foot deep pit, which is only possible with rappelling and experience in vertical cave diving. However, Patrick didn't go for any exploration purposes in this case. He solely went to admire the beauty of the scenery. Patrick Wurzner was a civil engineering student at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. He was a former student at John Carroll Catholic High School. On the 6th of September 2015, Patrick visited the cave and he had lunch with his friend. As per his friend, Patrick wasn't wearing any special gear, so supposedly, the plan was to visit the outskirts of the cave and enjoy the serenity and beauty of the place. It wasn't the first time that Patrick had visited the site, so it's understood that he knew the area well, and he was familiar with the cave and its surroundings. The 18-year-old sat on a ledge known as the pedestal, named by the cavers. The pedestal is right inside the preserve's main cave. He was with his friend, talking and appreciating the beauty that surrounded them. Who knew that Patrick was enjoying the final moments of his life, where tragedy was about to occur? As he tried to stand and leave, he lost his balance on the limestone and suddenly fell off the ledge to a whopping 50 feet down the 143-foot deep pit inside the cave. It was a sudden fall that took his life away in mere seconds. His friend immediately called for help. Jackson County's first responders reached the scene only to pronounce him dead right then and there at the cave. Coincidentally, some local cavers were just arriving in order to rappel the gap's vertical entrance. They assisted Patrick's friend and local authorities with body recovery. The incident was ruled an accident. Patrick was a sports enthusiast and he loved the outdoors. He was a good kid, generally, loved rock climbing, and he planned numerous weekend trips with friends, climbing and hiking over the past year. He was enjoying Mother Nature right before his encounter with death. He went doing what he loved most. However, for his family and friends, a loss as young as Patrick was a huge shock. His family declined to comment on the incident as it was too painful. He was a devout Catholic, and he helped serve the masses at large. As for the small community of students at the UAB, all came together to mourn the sudden death of their colleague, and they were there to comfort one another. Though accidents could occur anytime, anywhere, the takeaway from Wurzner's incident is to wear appropriate gear. Maybe only proper hiking shoes whenever visiting places like Stevens Gap. Caves are inherently dangerous places with dark, moist, slippery environments. Moreover, cavers express caving experiences as indescribable, bringing in an immense amount of adrenaline rush. It can never discount the amount of dangers, though, that come with the sport. 3 things are highly advised here. Number 1, Stay more than a body's length away from the edge when near an exposed edge to ensure safety at all times. Number 2, if nearing the edge, one should be clipped to a safety line before setting foot towards the edge. And 3, when approaching an edge, one should do it in a prone position rather than standing straight. We hope you liked the video. Let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. If you wish to see more such videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel, like, and hit that bell icon so that you never miss a new update. Thank you for watching.